Okay, everybody, welcome to another review of the Oval. So we start out with Priscilla shooting Victoria. Now, it turns out Priscilla imagined this. And so really she was just like standing there frozen, because Priscilla is really losing it right now. And Sam had to tell her, you need to leave. And so she finally leaves. And Hunter is just talking to Sam so rude and but Sam, I don't really feel sorry for him um because he just has done Priscilla wrong. So whoever talks to him bad, I really don't care at this point. So Victoria thinks that Priscilla knows something. And so Sam, he goes in there in the kitchen, and Priscilla is just, like freaking out. She's saying, I think I'm having a nervous breakdown. Sam's telling her, you need to leave. And she's like, no, I've got a job to do. I've got a job to do. And she's like, she's practicing saying that she didn't actually say, I want to kill her. She almost did, though. But it's like she is so angry, and Sam is trying to calm her down, and she's like, I can't even look at you because every time I look at you, I see her, and it is just, it's sorry, and it's plugging this ring light for better light, and it's just a mess. So let me get on to the next part. So Robbie calls Lily, and he apologizes to her. She apologizes to him, and he wants to see her, she wants to see him, all of that. And then she tells him, well, I'm going to be going to the White House um, to help the First Lady pick out a dress to go see her father in. And he asks her, when is this, da 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 da, and all that. And she wants to know why he's asking questions. And he just kind of plays it off. Um, and then he tells her that he loves her, and she's like, Bobby. And he's like, you don't have to say that. Um, so anyway, that was that. And so he goes and he tells Max about what Lily told him, and he's like, "We need to take him out. We need to take all of them out." So basically, they're trying to take out Hunter. And Max is saying, "Well, you know that this is you know how serious this is, and if you involve Lily, she can be charged." But he finally agrees, and he says, "It's just as long as I get Kyle." Because Max really hates Kyle, and for good reason. Kyle is just like not a likable character at all. So over the hospital, the doctor says that Barry can go. So and Nancy had brought him a change of clothes and everything. Um, and so also at the hospital at the same time, Sharon is released. So they end up getting on the same elevator. And of course, that's the problem. And Barry's like, "Did you come here to get an abortion?" And just goes into a big old mess. He asks her about the engagement ring because he sees the ring on her finger, and he's like, "Are you married another man while having my baby? That ain't you. You're a damn slut." And Richard has to calm him down once again because Barry just cannot control his temper. He just gets so angry, and he has to calm him down. Like, hun, she lost the baby, and that brought Barry back down, and he's like, why do I keep losing all my children? Um, and so in the car, Sharon asked Kareem if wait, let me. So she asked him. She asked him in the car if he knew that Barry was at the hospital, and he admits that he knew. He says yes, and he, of course, he gets all indignant about that, and she says she still cares about Barry, and he's like, "Oh, you still love him," and and he doesn't like that. He does not like that she said that, and they end up arguing, and he brings up, she ends up bringing up that he cheated on her, Kareem cheated on her, and she's like, "That's what I cannot handle." Because he was going all into this stuff about, oh, I think you want to be abused. I think you want to be treated like trash. You don't want anybody to love you, and blah, blah, blah. And he's kind of talking like an abuser would. Um, and Sharon obviously does not want to marry Kareem because she's just like, just shut up and drive this car. As their conversation went nowhere, it just turned into a huge fight. So, so Dr. Meadows was at the hospital, I mean, not the hospital, at the White House when Jason was brought in. And so, of course, Victoria was like, "What are you doing?" So Donald and them bring Jason in, and Hunter's like, "Oh my God, what happened?" And Donald says, "Well, he assaulted a woman." At first, he doesn't want to say who it was, and he said, and finally, he has to say, "Oh, it was Ellie." He was hit over the head with a guitar, and so. Hunter's like saying, "Is Ellie all right? Is Ellie all right?" Right? And Victoria's like, "That's your first question." Um, and so after they go to get Jason, squared away and all that, Kyle tells Donald that there was no DNA or bodies at the cabin, and so of course they want to get this handled, and um, Kyle says about Bobby's. They're trying to figure out how to flush him out. So Kyle says, well, he doesn't care about his wife, but he does have a son. And Don's like, do it, because I obviously something like, messing with somebody's child that will flush them out. So, so Hunter, he apologizes to Ellie, and she's like, I want to know that I'm more. And I'm like, come on, do you really think you are more than just some hookup? I mean, come on. I mean, Ellie, I don't know what Ellie thinks she's going to get out of this. I mean, does she think she's going to be the first lady? I mean, no. Um, and the writing is actually a little inconsistent on this because in the episode where Hunter took her to the site, and afterwards, when they were in the limo, he was saying, well, I thought it would be romantic to go. And she was like, then she was acting like she was the one that only saw it as something that was not, but something just like as a hookup. And he was acting like he was reading too much into it. So the writing's a little bit inconsistent there. I noticed that. So, Hunter starts talking about all this stuff. Oh, I can blow up the world, da 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 da, all this really stupid stuff. I mean, he's just incredibly immature and childish. I'm like, you're the president of the United States, and you're talking about you can just blow up the world. And so okay, so this whole time that they were having this conversation, Victoria was in the office. So she turns around in the chair and she hits Ellie off the head, and she warns her, "You stay out of this White House, or I'm gonna kill you, or I hope you, I'll have you murdered." And Ellie is like, she doesn't seem to be taking this seriously because she tells Hunter, "Get your wife." And of course, that set Victoria off even more. Um, and so they go back, and Hunter and Victoria go back and forth a bit. And then she tells him, when my father dies, we're going to have no more protection. All of this is going to come down on us. Um, And then he tells he tells Victoria, if you tell your father anything, um, tell him about what happened with Ellie and Jason. She's a threat to him, and she's a threat too. So she's a threat to us. So basically, I guess he is. Seemed like he was telling Victoria to have her father neutralize Ellie. So I don't know what's going to happen to Ellie, but I think Ellie's in big trouble now because with Jason attacking her like that, that gives her some leverage and some very good leverage. So um, Hunter's gonna want her to be handled. So so Victoria goes into Jason's room, and Dr. Meadows is checking him out, and she says he doesn't have a concussion, and Victoria is disappointed. And this is something else I found to be a bit inconsistent, also inconsistent, really inconsistent. Dr. Meadows was there checking on him and looking at his X-rays and everything. And while I know that psychiatrists do have some very basic um, medical skills, and that they do I believe that some of them do carry a medical bag. It's just like very basic stuff in it, not anything big. um it seemed like Dr. Meadows was being portrayed as a MD, a medical doctor, and that that was like a big, continuity error because she was not an MD before. She was a psychiatrist, and so I don't know. It was really stupid. So Victoria tells her to leave, and then Victoria slaps Jason awake. And at first he's gonna lie and say, "I didn't go anywhere," and Victoria is not letting him get away with that lie. So he says, "Yeah, also, yeah, I snuck it out in the back of Ellie's car." And she's like, "You know what? You're going to the same you're going to the same place as your sister is." And he's like, "Oh no, I need help. I need help." And she's like, "And you're gonna get it at the prison your sister is at on the men's side." So it'll be interesting to see if Jason is actually hauled there or if he somehow escapes. So Richard and Sam have a conversation. Richard wants him to pick up the pace on going after the Colt. And he's like, "But, if we just go in there shooting and it ends up like Waco or Ruby Ridge, that's going to come down on me and the Secret Service." And and Richard's like, "My grandchild is in there. Those people tried to kill me." So, and it's clear that Richard is like, "You know what? Look, do something about this." And so Sam, then he asks Richard to keep an eye on Priscilla because she's acting strange, and he's like, and Richard and he wants Richard to lie about what he knows, and I'm like, you have a lot of nerve, Sam, asking somebody to lie for you. So once again, Victoria keeps, taunting Priscilla, and she's telling her, "Bring some tea, bring some tea." And Priscilla once again just goes into this very intense stare. And Victoria's like, "Why are you staring at me?" And and uh, and then of course, she's gonna say, "Well, I'm not drinking a drop of that tea because I don't trust you." She thinks that um, Priscilla is going to poison her, and obviously Priscilla is capable of it at this point, because Priscilla said, I think it was in the first season when she got on her nerves, she's like, "I'm going to poison her, I'm going to kill her." And uh, so, okay, this is what happened next. So Sam brought Lily in, and then he was about to leave. He was about to go the same way as Priscilla, and Victoria's like, go the other way. Yeah, I know you're going to check on your wife, but she's fine." And then Sam's gonna go the other way, and I'm like, this is too much. This is way too much. I mean, you're the Secret Service. You're doing a job, um, you're doing a job for the White House, the people in there, the president and first lady, but they don't have the authority to tell you that you cannot check on your wife. I mean, come on. And Sam just did, and I'm like, come on, Sam. And then Victoria insults Lily's designs, calls them knockoffs, and da da da. And then she says, "I need a conservative dress, something that's not too flashy, and I don't own anything like that." And I'm like, I have not really seen Victoria wear anything that is not that is flashy or anything that's not conservative. Usually, she's usually wearing some suits or some dresses that are that could be defined as conservative. So, and then she's trying to be Lily's friend. She says, we're going to need each other in the coming days and what, and I'm like, come on, whatever. Who wants to be your friend? So back in the kitchen, Priscilla is digging this knife into the counter like, and Richard comes in and he's like, are you okay? And, and she's freaking out. She is having a nervous breakdown because she's just like she's about to break completely down to the ground. And she asked Richard, Did you know about Sam and Victoria? Did you know that they were having sex? And he's not saying anything. And she's like, oh, I hate her. I hate her. She's evil. She's a bitch. And Victoria's coming in and she hears that. And that's how the episode goes off. And I'm like, at the very least, um, Priscilla just needs to tell Victoria off. I mean, and quit that job. I mean, I can understand her not killing her because it's not worth all that, but at the very least, she needs to tell her off and just say, I quit. I quit. Because at this point, Priscilla's losing it, and being in the White House is not um, at all healthy for her. So that was the episode. I think they said next week is the season finale. I think that's what they said. That should be right. But anyway, tell me what you think, like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you the next time. Bye.